Hi students, welcome to Sankalp Study Success. I am Tirupati Rao. Today I am going to explain about monosaccharides in biomolecules. So the first monosaccharide is glucose. So glucose is the, what its formula glucose? So the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. It is containing 6 carbons and it is also containing aldehyde functional group. So it is a aldohexose. It is a aldohexose. Glucose is a aldohexose. So it is containing 6 carbons and aldehyde functional group. Glucose is said to be aldohexose and it is a dextrose. It is occurred in nature optically dextrorotatory isomer. So it is said to be dextrose. So glucose is said to be dextrose. Why it is said to be dextrose? It is occurred in nature. Dextrorotatory isomer. So it is said to be dextrose, and it is also said to be grape sugar, as it found in fruits, especially grapes. So it is said to be grape sugar. So glucose is said to be grape sugar, as found in especially as it found in fruits, especially grapes. And glucose is also is found in the combined form, like sucrose, starch, cellulose. Right? Now we will discuss about preparation of glucose. So in combined form, glucose is present in some disaccharides and polysaccharides. Like disaccharide means sucrose, maltose and lactose, and in polysaccharide means cellulose, starch, etc. Right. So this is the introduction of glucose. What is that? Glucose is a aldohexose. It is containing 6 carbons and also aldehyde functional group. It is a dextrorotatory. Glucose is said to be dextrose. It is occurred in nature optically active dextrorotatory isomer. So it is also known as grape sugar, as it found in fruits, especially grapes. Next, in combined form, it is occurred in some disaccharides and polysaccharides. So now we will discuss about preparation of glucose. So in lab method, in laboratory method, so an acid hydrolysis of sucrose gives a glucose and fructose. So in laboratory, which is taken sucrose, what its formula? Sucrose C12 H22O11. So this is said to be sucrose, which on hydrolysis means adding of water in the presence of acid like H plus. So this is the acid hydrolysis to give a glucose and fructose. So what its formula? C6H12O6, and same fructose also C6H12O6. So this is the fructose, this is glucose. So this is the laboratory method. In the second method, on large amount of glucose is prepared by hydrolysis of starch or cellulose with diluted H2SO4 or HCl about 2 to 3 atmosphere pressure and 393 Kelvin temperature. So what is that? So that is the commercial method. Right, commercial method. So what is that? Starch or cellulose. starch or cellulose. So both are having same molecular formula. Starch or cellulose, both are having same molecular formula. C6H10O5 whole base N. So this is the formula of, this is the molecular formula of starch or cellulose. On hydrolysis means adding of water. So in the presence of diluted H2SO4 or HCl, diluted H2SO4 or HCl, about 2 to 3 atmosphere pressure and 393 Kelvin temperature. So here N molecules are there, here also N molecules of water can be taken. So what is obtained? C6H12O6. So this is the glucose, this is the glucose. So in the above method, glucose and fructose both are glucose and fructose are obtained in mixture form, but here only glucose is obtained. So this is the better method. So here 6 carbons. So 10 plus 2, 12 hydrogens, 5 plus 1 oxygen, 6 oxygen. So here N is taken as common. So then the equation is balanced. So this is the commercial method. What is the commercial method? So on large amount of glucose is prepared by hydrolysis of starch or cellulose with diluted H2SO4 or diluted HCl, at 2 to 3 atmosphere pressure and 393 Kelvin temperature. So gives a glucose. So these are the preparation methods. Now goes to explain about chemical properties and structural elucidation. Chemical properties and structural elucidation of glucose. Structural elucidation of glucose. Right. So first one, so the molecular formula of glucose is found to C6H12O6 by using stoichiometry. So the molecular formula of glucose is found as C6H12O6 by using stoichiometry. Right. So next goes to second point. On prolonged eating of glucose with HI, on prolonged eating HI and prolonged heating of glucose with HI, hydrogen iodide, gives N-hexane. So on prolonged eating of glucose with HI gives N-hexane. So we can take in glucose C6H12O6. So this is the glucose. On eating with N-hexane in the presence of red phosphorus, right? On heating, that means delta. So that gives N-hexane. This is the N-hexane. In N-hexane, all carbons are present in straight chain. In N-hexane, this is the N-hexane. In N-hexane, all carbons are present in straight chain or straight line. So this reaction indicates all carbons of all the 6 carbons of glucose are present in a straight line manner. So what is that? So second point indicates, what is that? On prolonged heating of glucose with HI gives an hexane, give an hexane. So this reaction indicates in an hexane all carbons are present in straight line. So similarly, all the 6 carbons of glucose also present in a straight line manner in their structure. So next goes to third point. So glucose on acetylation of glucose with acetic anhydride to give a glucose pentaestate or pentaestate of glucose, both are same. What is that? On acetylation of glucose with acetic anhydride to give a glucose pentaestate or pentaestate of glucose. So what is that? So this is we can take in glucose in this way, right? This is containing 6 carbons, 2 carbons and this 4, and which on heating with acetic anhydride, Ac2O or CH3CO twice O, or this is said to be acetyl group, so Ac2O. So both are same. So what happened here? This OH bond is removed by this acetyl group, CH3, C double bond O, C double bond O, CH3. So this bond is shifted towards this direction, and this bond is also shifted towards I electronegative atom like oxygen. What happened? So this gives O. So this is plus, that means CO, CH3. So remaining goes to CH3, CO, O and this H. So that can be removed. So that means each OH gives this type of OCOCH3 group, right? So that can be written CHOCOCH3 or CHOAC, both are same, CHOCOCH3, right, 4, and CH2OCOCH3, right, or OAC. So here how many acetyl groups? 4 and this is 1, 5. So this gives a glucose pentaestate. On acetylation of glucose with acetic anhydride to give a glucose pentaestate. This reaction indicates, or this reaction suggests that 5 OH groups are present in glucose. 5 OH groups are present in glucose at different carbons. So this reaction suggests that 5 OH groups present at different carbons, right? So this is the third point. Next goes to fourth point. Right. So glucose is treated with hydroxylamine. Glucose is treated with hydroxylamine. What is the formula of hydroxylamine? NH2OH is said to be hydroxylamine, and HCN to form, right. So glucose is treated with hydroxylamine. So this is the glucose. So this is the structure of glucose. Right, CHOH4, that can be written CH2OH. Alright, this can be treated with hydroxylamine like NH2OH. So NH2OH, this is the NH2OH. So your H2O molecule can be removed. So what happens? C double bond NOH H. So CHOH 4 CH2OH. So this is said to be oxime. C double bond NOH is said to be oxime. C double bond NOH is said to be oxime. So glucose is treated with hydroxy element to form glucose oxime, and similarly it can react with hydrogen cyanide 4CH2OH, right, HCN. So this double bond shifted towards OI electronegative atom. So HCN can be ionized to H plus and Cn minus. So now CO minus carrying, that is reacted with H, and C plus reacted Cn, CHOH 4 CH2OH. So this compound is said to be cyanohydrin, right. So glucose is treated with hydroxylamine and hydrogen cyanide to form oximes and cyanohydrin respectively. So this type of reactions can take place in carbonyl group only. So this reaction suggests that glucose containing carbonyl group. These reactions suggest that carbonyl group is present in glucose. What is that carbonyl group? This is said to be carbonyl group. C double bond O group is said to be carbonyl group. So glucose is treated with hydroxylamine to form oximes, and treated with HCN to form cyanohydrin. So these two reactions suggest that glucose must containing carbonyl group. Why? So this type of test gives only carbonyl group, right? And next goes to another reaction, right? So if the glucose is treated with bromine water. So bromine water is act as a oxidizing reagent, like a mild oxidizing reagent. Bromine water, it is act as a mild oxidizing reagent. So glucose is oxidized with bromine water to give a 6-membered monocarboxylic acid. Monocarboxylic acid means that compound containing only one COOH group. So here this CHO will convert it to COOH. So what happened? Remaining can be written as it is CH2OH. So this is said to be gluconic acid. It is containing 6-membered carbon. It is containing 6 carbons. So gluconic acid, 6-membered monocarboxylic acid. It is containing only one COOH group. So that means this reaction suggests that the carbonyl group of glucose must be aldehyde. So this type of carboxylic acids gives only aldehyde functional groups, but not ketones. If the ketone group is present, so here that gives less number of carboxylic acids with less number of parent molecule. So glucose can be treated with bromine water. Right, glucose is oxidized with bromine water to give a monocarboxylic acid, that is monocarboxylic acid with same number of carbon, that is said to be gluconic acid. So this reaction suggests that the carbonyl group of glucose must be aldehyde. So here two possibilities are there, right? One side of C double bond were attached with hydrogen, another side attached with carbon, that is aldehyde. So both sides of C double bond were attached with carbon, that is said to be ketone. So here ketone group is absent, right? Right. So according to this point, so glucose is oxidized with mild oxidizing reagent like bromine water to form gluconic acid with to form monocarboxylic acid with the same number of carbons. That's like a gluconic acid. So this reaction suggests that glucose must the carbonyl group of glucose must be aldehyde group. So aldehyde group means CHO, aldehyde group, right? And next goes to another point. Right. So glucose, this is the mild oxidizing agent. Bromine water is the mild oxidizing reagent. Now we can take a strong oxidizing reagent. On oxidation with HNO3, HNO3 is the strong oxidizing reagent. So on oxidation with HNO3, on oxidation with HNO3, both glucose and gluconic acid. What is formula? This is the gluconic acid. Gluconic acid, COOH, CHOH, 4 CH2OH, right? So this is the glucose, this is the gluconic acid. So both are oxidized with concentrated HNO3, gives a 6-member dicarboxylic acid. So its structure is similar to this. So it is said to be saccharic acid. Saccharic acid. So what is that? On oxidation with concentrated HNO3, glucose is oxidized with strong oxidizing reagent like concentrated HNO3, glucose and gluconic acid. Okay, or oxidation with concentrated HNO3, both glucose and gluconic acid gives a 6-member dicarboxylic acid. This is one COH, this is another COH, dicarboxylic acid, 6-membered dicarboxylic acid. Its name is saccharic acid. So this reaction indicates that already CHO group is there, already COH group is there. So that means, and remaining functional group, like this is the primary alcohol, remaining alcohols are secondary alcohols. What is primary alcohol? If the OH group carbon is linked with one carbon, that is said to be primary alcohol. If the OH group carbon is linked with 2 carbons, that is said to be secondary alcohol. So here all these are secondary alcohols, CHOH, that are linked with 2 carbons. But this is the primary alcohol, CH2OH, that is linked with only 1 carbon. So that is the primary alcohol. So primary alcohol is firstly oxidized, primary alcohol. So primary alcohol like CH2OH. So CH2OH, this is the primary alcohol. It is firstly oxidized to aldehyde, and again it is oxidized to COOH. So in the previous case, bromine water, the CH2OH cannot oxidize it due to weak oxidizing reagent. But in this case, the CH2OH is oxidized due to it is the strong oxidizing reagent. In the presence of strong oxidizing reagent, the primary alcohol is firstly converted to aldehyde, again that is oxidized to gives COOH. So this reaction suggests that glucose containing primary alcohol functional group. What is that? So on oxidation with concentrated HNO3, both glucose and gluconic acid gives a dicarboxylic acid with the same number of carbons. Its name is saccharic acid. This reaction suggests that Okay, primary alcohol is present in primary alcohol like CH2OH is present in glucose, right? So from all the above reactions, Bayer proposed the open chain structure of glucose. Okay, open chain structure of glucose. Now we can write open chain structure of glucose. Okay, this structure is proposed by Bayer. So according to above points, according to previous reactions, the open chain structure of glucose can be written in the following way. So according to first point, it is containing what is molecular formula? C6H12O6, right? And second point, when it is treated with on prolonged heating with HI, it gives an hexane. This reaction suggests that all carbons are present in straight line in this manner. So this is right. These are the 6 carbons, all are present in straight line manner. And so if the glucose can be treated with acetic anhydride to form glucose pentaestate, this reaction indicates that 5 OH groups are present at different carbon in glucose. So that is another point. And so glucose can be treated with hydroxylamine and HCN to form oximes and cyanohydrin respectively. This reaction indicates that one of the carbonyl group is present in exist in glucose. And another next reaction, glucose is oxidized to a mild oxidizing reagent like bromine water, gives a gluconic acid. This reaction suggests that the carbonyl group of glucose must be aldehyde. So that is, and last reaction on oxidation with consonant HNO3, both glucose and gluconic acid gives a saccharic acid. So that means this reaction suggests that primary alcohol is present in glucose. So all these are secondary alcohols. Why? All these carbons are linked with 2 carbons, but this carbon is only linked with 1 carbon. So this is the CH2OH, primary alcohol. So H carbon must containing 4 bonds. So this is the open chain structure of glucose. According to above chemical reactions, the open chain structure of glucose is proposed by Bayer. So this is the open chain structure of glucose, right? So this glucose, the configuration of glucose, absolute configuration, right? So glucose belongs to D series. So the configuration of glucose is measured with standard standard structure like glyceraldehyde, absolute configuration like glyceraldehyde. So this is the glyceraldehyde. Right. So this is the glyceraldehyde. So in the glyceraldehyde, right, here the OH group, if the OH group, this is the Fischer projection formula. CHO, H, OH, CH2OH. In Fischer projection formula, if the OH at asymmetric carbon is present on right side, that is said to be D-glyceraldehyde. So in glyceraldehyde, the OH at asymmetric carbon is present on left side, that is L-glyceraldehyde. So this is L-glyceraldehyde. So the configuration of glucose is compared with these glyceraldehydes. So this is the CH2OH, this is the CH2OH from lower part, from lower part. This is the CH2OH, this is the CH2OH, and the next carbon, is the asymmetric carbon. What is the asymmetric carbon? So the four groups, the four groups of the four attached groups of carbon is different. That is said to be asymmetric carbon. If the four attachment groups of carbon are different, that is said to be asymmetric. So this is different, this is different, this is different. All four groups are different. So this is said to be asymmetric carbon. So this is also asymmetric carbon. At the asymmetric carbon, the OH is present on right side. So here the OH is present on right side, that is said to be D series. So this is D glucose. Here D is not a dextrorotatory. So this is not a D is not a dextro, L is not a levorotatory. Here D is the configuration. Here D is the configuration. So the configuration of glucose is compared with D-glyceraldehyde. So this is the D-glucose. Next, already says that it is levorotatory. Sorry, the glucose is the dextrorotatory. Already says that in introduction, glucose is a dextrorotatory due to it is occurred in nature optically active dextrorotatory isomer. ఇది మనకు నేచర్లో డెక్స్ట్రోరొటేటరీ ఐసోమర్ లభిస్తుంది కాబట్టి దీన్ని మనము డెక్స్ట్రోజ్ అంటాం, దీన్ని డెక్స్ట్రోడ్ అంటాం. సో డెక్స్ట్రోజ్ here can be taken as small d or plus, or levorotatory that can be taken as small l or minus. So this is the important. So this is the optical active compounds. Like optical active compounds means the plane polarized can rotate right side or left side. So the right side, that is dextro, that can be represented by small d or plus. Similarly L or minus, right? So the glucose is the dextrorotatory. This can be written as plus. So D plus glucose. This is the open chain structure of glucose. And in open chain structure of glucose, how many asymmetric carbons are there? So this is the asymmetric carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 asymmetric carbons. 4 asymmetric. This is not a asymmetric carbon. Why? It is containing 2 hydrogens, H2 and C. Here the 2 hydrogens are same. What is the asymmetric carbon? The 4 groups, the 4 attachment groups of carbon are different. That is said to be asymmetric carbon. So this is not a asymmetric carbon. This is also not a asymmetric carbon. Double bond O can be written as OO. So that are same. The number of stereoisomers. The number of stereoisomers in glucose, is equal to 2 power of n. The number of stereoisomers in glucose is equal to 2 power of n, where n is equal to number of asymmetric carbons. Right, asymmetric carbons. So here n is equal to 4. So number of stereoisomers is equal to 2 power of 4. 2 power of 4 means 16. So 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8, 8 to the 16. In 16 isomers, 8 are belongs to D series and 8 are belongs to L series. Okay. Here D and L are not a dextro-levorotatory. Here D and L are configurations. So in the 16 isomers of glucose, 8 are D, 8 belongs to D, 8 belongs to L. So this is the number of stereoisomers in glucose. This is a very, very important. So this is the open chain structure of glucose. This open chain structure of glucose is proposed by Bayer, and this is explained so many chemical reaction. And it could not explain some chemical reactions. So what is that? This is the glucose. This is the open chain structure of glucose. this is explained so many chemical properties, and it could not, and it is also, it could not explain some chemical reactions. So its name is D plus glucose, D plus glucose. So here D is indicates configuration, here plus indicates dextrorotatory, right? Now the open chain structure of glucose could not explain some chemical reactions. What are that? It could not give Schiff's test. It could not gives, it does not give Schiff's test. So this is the okay, if this is containing free aldehyde group, that will must give Schiff's test. So but the open chain structure of glucose does not give Schiff's test. And second one, it does not react with sodium bisulfate and ammonia in spite of aldehyde group, So it does not react with the sodium bisulfite and ammonia in spite of free aldehyde group. ఇక్కడ ఫ్రీ aldehyde group ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా ఈ NaHSO3 తోటి NH3 తోటి రియాక్ట్ అవ్వట్లేదు. సో నెక్స్ట్ వన్ the pentaester of glucose, already we know that. So this is the CH2OAC, already written CH2OAC. This is the pentaester of glucose or glucose pentaestate, which is treated with hydroxylamine NH2OH. So glucose pentaestate cannot react with hydroxylamine. This means this reaction suggests that absence of pre-aldehyde group in glucose. What is that? So pentaestate of glucose does not react with hydroxylamine. This reaction suggests that absence of pre-aldehyde group in glucose. That means, and the glucose is also occurred in nature in two crystalline forms. Glucose is also found to exist in two crystalline forms. The two crystalline forms are having different properties, like means different optical rotation and different melting points, etc. Right? So different melting points, different optical rotations, right? So the glucose must containing two crystalline forms. So but this is containing only one form. The two crystalline structures of glucose can be explained by cyclic structures. Now we can write cyclic structures. So this is the Pisser projection structure, cyclic structures of glucose. So this is the open chain structure of glucose, but now we will discuss about cyclic structure of glucose. So open chain structure of glucose can explain so many chemical reactions, so many chemical properties, but it could not explain some chemical reactions, like it does not give Schiff's test, and it does not react with NaHSO3 and NH3 in spite of free aldehyde group, and pentaester of glucose or glucose pentaestate does not react with hydroxylamine. This reaction suggests that free aldehyde group is absent in glucose, and glucose is also found in nature in two crystalline forms, like the two crystalline forms also having different properties, like melting point and optical rotations are different. Now these two crystalline forms can be explained through cyclic structure of glucose. Here the cyclic structure can be obtained at C1 position. C1, this is the C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right. Here the cyclic structure is obtained between C1 carbonyl group of like aldehyde group, carbonyl group of at C1 carbon and OH at fifth carbon. So in glucose, the cyclic structure, the cyclic linkage is obtained at first carbon, carbonyl group of first carbon and OH group at fifth carbon. So how to write this structure? So this is the fifth carbon OH. So this bond is shifted towards, and this bond is, this is the first carbon carbonyl group. So this bond is shifted towards I electronegative atom like oxygen. What happened? CH. So remaining carbons can be written as this COH, H, CH, OH, CH and CH2OH, right. So this is the O, right. This is the O carrying negative charge, here H carrying positive charge. This H plus is shifted towards O minus like OH plus. So this O minus, O carrying negative and H plus, this H plus is attacked at O minus, that will forms OH, and here C carrying positive. So this C plus and this O minus, this C plus and O minus forms a bond, right. So this is the cyclic structure of glucose. This is the cyclic structure of glucose. All right. Similarly, here O is also, here OH is maybe present in left side or right side. Is here the OH. So that C double bond O is present on above the plane. That may be present on either right side or left side, right. So two possibilities are there. So what is the another possibility? Okay, this OH is produced from this carbonyl group. That OH is maybe present in either right side or left side. If that OH can be written left side. So remaining carbons can be written as it is. Right. So here OH is present on right side, here OH is present on left side. So these two are isomers. So this is if the OH group is present on right side at first carbon, that is said to be alpha D plus glucose, So this structure, here the OH is present on left side at first carbon in this cyclic structure. So that can be written as beta D plus glucose, right. So these are the alpha and beta forms of glucose. These two are isomers. So why aldehyde cannot give these tests, these reagents? Okay, why glucose cannot react with these reagents? Listen to me. So these are the weak reagents like Schiff's reagent, sodium bisulfite and ammonia. All these three are weak reagents. So weak reagents cannot break the cyclic structure. So in the previous case, we can take in so many reagents like what are that, N-hexane and acetic anhydride, bromine water, HNO3, all that are strong reagents. That strong reagents first of all can break this cyclic structure to form open chain structure. So that can react with this pre-aldehyde group. But these reagents are weak reagents. These reagents cannot break the cyclic structure and cannot obtain this free aldehyde glucose. That means open chain structure of glucose. So these are reagents like SIPS reagent, sodium bisulfite, NH3, or cannot gives a test with glucose, right? So these are the cyclic structures of glucose, cyclic structures of glucose. Now, right. Now, Haworth can propose the new ring structure. Haworth can propose the ring structures for these two isomers. For these two isomers, Haworth structures of glucose, right? So in the Haworth structure, the cyclic structures of two isomers of glucose are similar to phyron. So what is the structure of phyron? This is the structure of phyron. This is the structure of phyron. It is containing how many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons and 1 oxygen. That means it is a 6-membered ring. In the cyclic structure of isomers of glucose also 6-membered ring. 1 oxygen and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is also a 6-membered ring. In the 6-membered ring, 1 is oxygen, remaining 5 are carbons. So that means the cyclic structures of two isomers of glucose are similar to phyron, right? So Haworth can propose the ring structure for two isomers of glucose, two cyclic structures of glucose. What are that? So in the ring structure, so this is O, that can be written O, and this is carbon, later start next carbon, similarly. So this is the 6-membered ring, 5 are carbons, 1 is oxygen, right? 1 is oxygen. Now here O, this is O, this is the first carbon, this is the cyclic structures. In cyclic structures, the right side substance of in piston structure can be written below the plane in ring structure. So what is that? Right side, these are the right side substituents. These right side substituents in piston structure can be written as below the plane. These are the planes. So this is the below the plane, and left side of the substituents can be written above the plane in ring. So this is all these are right. This is the right side group that can be written below, and this is the first of all we can take an alpha. This is the alpha D glucose. So here the right side OH is present on right side. That can be, this is the first carbon, second. So this is the first carbon. So this is O, this is the first carbon, right? Here the OH is present on right side, that can be written below the plane, and this is present on left side, that can be written above the plane. Similarly, we can write all. So this OH is also right, that can be written below second carbon, H. Now here H is present and OH above the plane, and this also OH present below the plane, H is present right above the plane. This is also same. So this is the top CH2OH, above the plane, this H is below the plane. So this is the alpha D plus means dextrorotatory. So this is glucose, and this structure is similar to, the structure is resembles with pyran. This structure, the cyclic structure of glucose is resembles with pyran. So its name is glucopyranose, alpha D plus glucopyranose. So now we can write beta D glucose. How to write? So this is the beta. We can write same. So the right side substituents can be written on below the plane of the ring. Right. This is OH. This is OH. OH is present on right. That is below. H is present left. That is above. Similarly, H, OH. HOH, right, HOH, and this is above the plane, CH2, OH, H. So what its name? Beta D plus glucopyranose. So the cyclic structure of glucose is resembles with pyran structure. So its name is given as glucopyranose. So this is the alpha D plus glucopyranose. So this is the beta D plus glucopyranose. Right. These two are the Avarth structures of glucose. These two are the cyclic structures of glucose. This is the open chain structure of glucose. Next, the alpha and beta D glucose. This is the alpha D glucose, this is the beta D glucose. These two are isomers but not enantiomers. Why these are not enantiomers? So these are not a mirror images. And these are not superimposable. So the isomers of glucose are not a enantiomers. What is that? The isomers of glucose, not a enantiomers, due to these two are not superimposable and not mirror images each other. And next, now we will discuss about mutarotation of glucose. So before going to discuss mutarotation, your alpha and alpha D glucose and beta D glucose are anomers. So what is anomers? Anomers are the isomers which are differ in configuration of OH at first carbon. So here alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, its structure is same to same except first carbon, and remaining carbons are same to same. Second carbon HOH, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon, and last one also. But at first carbon, in the alpha D glucose, OH is present on right side. In beta glucose, the OH is present on left side. That means these two isomers are different in configuration of OH at first carbon. So these are said to be anomers. So what is anomers? Anomers are the isomers which are differ in configuration of OH at first carbon. So anomers are different first carbon. So this is the anomer. Now goes to mutarotation. So this is the alpha D glucose. Its optical rotation is optical rotation. Optical rotation can be represented by alpha square bracket of D. Optical rotation. It's 112 degrees for alpha D glucose, right? Beta glucose 19 degrees, plus 90 degrees. All these are plus values, right? And this is the D glucose. This is the open chain structure of glucose. What its value? 52 degrees, right? All these three are equilibrium with each other, right? When And these are right here, each form of glucose, either form of glucose like alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, either form of glucose dissolving with water converts the other form. This form converts the other form and attains a equilibrium with both isomers, and this forms a equilibrium with both forms like alpha D glucose and beta D glucose. What is that? So this is these two are isomers, alpha D glucose and beta D glucose, which are dissolved in water. These two are dissolved in water, gives a other form. This is the other form. So other form, and these two are equilibrium with this structure. So that means here the optical rotation of the isomers can be changed to this equilibrium mixture. Here 19 degrees to the optical rotation is increases from 19 degrees to 52 degrees, but the optical rotation of alpha D glucose is decreases from 112 degrees to 52 degrees. That means, what is mutarotation? The phenomenon of change in optical rotation of two isomers, either form of isomers in aqueous solution, to equilibrium mixture. This is the equilibrium mixture, is known as mutarotation. The phenomenon of change in optical rotation of either form of glucose in aqueous solution to equilibrium mixture is known as mutarotation. సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఆల్ఫా మరియు బీటా డి గ్లూకోజ్ నీటిలో కరిగించినప్పుడు మనకి ఒక కొత్త ఫామ్ అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. ఈ ఫామ్ అనేది ఏర్పడుతుంది. ఈ ఏర్పడిన ఫాము ఈ రెండింటితో ఎలాగుంటుందంటే ఈక్విలిబ్రియంలో ఉంటుంది. నెక్స్ట్ ఈ ఈక్విలిబ్రియం యొక్క ఈ ఫామ్ యొక్క ఆప్టికల్ ఈ రెండు ఐసోమర్ల యొక్క ఆప్టికల్ రొటేషన్ అనేది మారుతూ ఈక్విలిబ్రియంకి ఎంత మారుతుంది? ఈక్విలిబ్రియం మిక్సర్ యొక్క ఆప్టికల్ రొటేషన్ మారుతుంది. దట్ మీన్స్ 19 నుంచి 52కి ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ 112 డిగ్రీస్ నుంచి 52కి కన్వర్ట్ అవుతుంది. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫినామినాన్ ఆఫ్ చేంజ్ ఇన్ ఆప్టికల్ రొటేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఐదర్ ఫార్మ్ ఆఫ్ గ్లూకోజ్ ఇన్ aqueous solution to equilibrium mixture is known as mutarotation. So glucose can show a mutarotation, right? Next we will discuss about Wassermann formation. Wassermann formation. Right, Wassermann formation. Right. Here, each glucose molecule can react with 3 moles of phenyl hydrogen, gives Wassermann. So each glucose molecule, each glucose molecule can react with 3 moles of phenyl hydrogen. So this is very, very important. How many molecules of phenyl hydrogen can react with glucose to form Wassermann? How many moles? 3 molecules, right? We can take in glucose. This is the glucose, C double bond OH. This is the open chain structure of glucose, HOH, OH, H, HOH, CHOH and CH2OH. This is the open chain structure of glucose, D-glucose, right? So which is this can be treated with phenyl hydrogen. So NH2 is said to be hydrogen, and one hydrogen is removed by phenyl group like benzene group or C6H5. This is said to be phenyl hydrogen. phenylhydrazine, right? So by losing water molecule H2O, so CH double bond NH C6H5, so as it is remaining molecules. Again another phenylhydrazine molecule can be reacted, NH2 NH C6H5. Here this OH is there, right? So this bond can shift towards both side and this hydrogen also, that will convert it to C double bond H and NH C6H5, and C here O carrying negative and C plus C carrying plus, C double bond O, that will convert it to double bond O, COH H CH OH CH OH CH2 OH. So the loose hydrogens are added here, H and H. What happened? NH3 and minus, okay, removed, minus means removed here, NH2 C6H5, NH2 C6H5. So that is aniline, C6H5 NH2. So this is the first molecule, this is the second phenylhydrazine molecule. Now third phenylhydrazine molecule can be reacted again. So here water molecule can be removed, H2O. What happened? So CH double bond CH double bond NH double bond NH C6H5, and so this is double bond NH C6H5. Again this is C double bond NH C6H5, COH H CH OH CH OH CH2 OH. So this is said to be wasazone. So how many phenylhydrazine molecules can react with 1 mole of glucose to form wasazone? How many molecules? 3 molecules of phenylhydrazine can react with 1 mole of hydrogen to form wasazone. So this is the very important reaction. And last one for glucose, Lubri-Debron Van Ekenstein rearrangement. Right, Lubri-Debron Van Ekenstein rearrangement. So when glucose can be reacted with diluted NaOH, glucose can be reacted with diluted NaOH, so that will gives a mixture of equilibrium mixture of fructose and mannose, all these two are equilibrium. So what is that? glucose undergoes a reversible isomerization with diluted NaOH, gives a equilibrium mixture of fructose and mannose, D-fructose and mannose. So this is said to be Lubry-de-Bruijn-van-Ekenstein rearrangement. So what is that? When glucose can be treated with diluted NaOH, that gives a equilibrium mixture of fructose and mannose. So all these three are equilibrium with each other, and similarly if mannose also reacted with diluted NaOH gives a equilibrium mixture of glucose and fructose. Similarly, fructose also treated with diluted NaOH gives a equilibrium mixture of glucose and mannose. So this type of rearrangement is known as the Lubry-de-Bruijn-van-Ekenstein rearrangement. So I hope to clear this everyone. Please subscribe our channel.